Pedro Ramirez was convicted for the crime of espionage, penalized under the revised penal code. Due to his political connections, he is able to have access to the office of the president and was able to apply for an executive clemency of conditional pardon without acquitting first a favorable recommendation from the Secretary of the Department of National Defense. Upon learning the same, the DND Secretary immediately informed the President that he is opposed to the granting of conditional pardon to Pedro Ramirez, considering that he is affiliated with the opposition party.
Question 1. Explain the nature and the significance of favorable recommendation of Department of National Defense Secretary to the cases of crimes classified as crimes against national security for the purposes of the President's exercise of pardoning power under the Constitution.
One of the tasks of Department of National Defense is providing necessary protection of the state against external and internal threats, directing, planning, and supervising the National Defense Program, maintaining law and throughout the country. Moreover, if the crime committed by the accused was crimes against national security, public safety, or the law of nations, the board shall transfer the petition to Secretary of National Defense for recommendation for approval of executive clemency, because the Department of National Defense are the same who will check and examine the approval of the accused if he or she are qualified to have executive clemency.
The crime committed by Pedro Ramirez was a crime against national security, which is espionage, and the Department of National Defense has the responsibility to protect the state from internal and external threat. According to Section 4, RA 4103, a petition for executive clemency to be referred by the Board of Secretary of National Defense for the recommendation to President through the crime committed was crime against national security. Therefore, Department of National Defense recommendation of needed is before Pedro Ramirez grant executive clemency.
Question 2. Can the President grant conditional pardon to Pedro Ramirez even in the absence of favorable recommendation from the Department of National Defense Secretary? Provide legal basis to your answer.
No. Although the President has the power to grant executive clemency, even without the recommendation from the Department of National Defense, and there are some reasons that is not compatible because of disqualification in parole. According to Section 2 of RA 4103, amended by Act No. 4225, the Act shall not apply to persons convicted of offenses punished with death penalty or life imprisonment, to those convicted in treason, conspiracy, or proposal to commit treason, and to those convicted in misprision of treason, rebellion, sedition, or espionage.
Just like those circumstances mentioned earlier, another matter when it comes to granting conditional pardon, under Section 10 of Republic Act No. 4103, the prisoner shall have served at least one-half of the minimum of his original indeterminate and/or definite sentence. And in this case, for a prisoner who was convicted of a heinous crime, as defined in Republic Act No. 7659 and other special laws, he shall have served at least one-half of the maximum of his original indeterminate sentence before his case be reviewed for conditional pardon.
Question 3. What if Pedro Ramirez is convicted not of a crime of espionage but a crime of election sabotage penalized under the Omnibus Election Code of the Philippines and the Commission of Election? Likewise, not favorably recommends the granting of conditional pardon. Will your answer to issue number 2 be different? Justify your answer. If Pedro Ramirez convicted for the crime of election sabotage under Omnibus Election Code of the Philippines and Commission on Elections, likewise not favorably recommends for conditional pardon, he can be qualified for granting conditional pardon because, according to Section 9 of the Republic Act No. 4103, a petition for executive clemency shall be referred by the Board to the Secretary of National Defense for checking and recommendation if the crime committed by the petitioner is against national security or public order or law of nations. In case of violation of election laws, rules and regulations, a petition for executive clemency, parole, shall be referred to the Commission on Elections for favorable recommendation.
Yes, conditional pardon can be granted to Pedro Ramirez even without favorable recommendation if the word of pardon and parole, the BPP, satisfied to him, he will be granted, she said, pardon based on his good records. A petition for parole may be referred for a pre-parole investigation to a parole officer who shall submit a report on his behavior, character, mental and physical condition of the petitioner within 30 days from receipt of referral to include the result of NBI record check.